Yes, guys, what's going on? It's the weekend wrap, and we're back. Another weekend of football. And I gotta say, we're feeling a whole lot different to the way we were this time last week after Manchester United had just been beaten by West Bromwich Albion. Since then, we've beaten Bournemouth, we've beaten Chelsea, we've sealed our spot we've beaten Spurs, we've sealed our spot in the FA Cup final against Chelsea. And there's been a whole host of other things going down this weekend of football. Mo Salah is the PFA Player of the Year. We discussed that a few weeks ago. And I've got to be honest, even though I knew Mo Salah was in outstanding form, I thought Kevin de Bruyne would have got it. Mo Salah got it. I think Dean was right on that one. And we'll be speaking about that as well. Let us know what you guys are thinking about all the weekend's action. We're here to talk all of that. Dean, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, man, good. It's been a decent weekend of football, and it for from a United perspective, definitely. Obviously, there hasn't been as much football with some of the Premiership games, obviously, because it's FA Cup weekend. But yeah, it's good. Obviously, then Salah. Not that I'm happy that he won it, but I think he deserved it for me. He has been. It pains me to say as a Liverpool player, but he's been class this season. I think he's deserved to get Player of the Year. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I think he's definitely deserved it. I didn't think he wouldn't win it because he didn't deserve it. I think it's probably been one of the closest fought races in a while. But I thought, like, the simple fact that these guys are Premier League champions was going to swing it in his favour. Mo Salah could end the season trophyless. And you usually see these awards go to someone that has nailed the trophy. But obviously that isn't the case this time around. While it may not be the case, Liverpool could win the Champions League. So Mo Salah is the Player of the Year. We had Man United beating Spurs, Chelsea beating Southampton to set up a FA Cup final between Manchester United and Chelsea. Jose Mourinho against, of course, Antonio Conte. So that one will be interesting as well. But there's plenty of stuff going on. First things first, we'll talk about Manchester United. We'll have a little bit of a reaction to that. United beat Spurs, come from behind after Dele Alli's early goal. I think we've seen now that dancing in a game at Wembley in the FA Cup is not the right idea against Manchester United. It failed for Alan Pardew. It failed for Dele Alli. Alexis Sanchez, was that his best performance in a Man United shirt? First things first. Was he man of the match for you?
Yeah, I think he probably was man of the match, to be honest. Just to your point about the dancing, like to be fair to him, Pardew, I thought his dance was alright. Continues the old geezer and that, but Dele Alli's was stiff, man. If that's that floss thing, your man was looking stiff. But obviously, he's, like, I've seen a couple people like Lampard's come out and said it, like he celebrated too soon and over celebrated. Like, it's kind of funny how that happens as well, because at least if you are dancing, you're kind of taking, like, you kind of taking a mick out of the other team, and it's like obviously we come back to beat it, bro. And it's like as much as you're dancing, man, are there flipping putting crosses on plates for a man like Sanchez. You get me, from Pogba, like his assist was a joke.
He shrugged off Dembele for that as well.
Yeah.
Dembele was at fault for both of the goals, probably, when you think about it. And I mean, Paul Pogba had an absolutely fantastic game. It was great to see from him after a lot of criticism that he has been in for. But yeah, the goal from Alexis Sanchez, the header, was a deft touch. His all-round performance was absolutely fantastic, and that has been what we've been looking for from Alexis Sanchez. Was he man of the match, or do you think Ander Herrera should have got it?
I think me personally, I'll probably give it to Sanchez. I thought he was our best player, biggest attacking threat. He took his goal well, and I think again it's like he's a big game player. Like a lot of people, we were talking about prior in terms of who will start, and I think again I was saying that you're gonna go with tried and tested, and he's been tried and tested in the big games. He's done it a couple of times at Wembley.
I think it's 7 goals in 6 at Wembley, or 6 in 5, one of the other.
Like some players it can work like that, where like they seem to play better at different stages, but again he's come up trumps for Jose and that. So you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I would give it to him, to be honest. I think And Herrera did have a good game though. Like the thing that's mad is that Herrera was playing like this for a lot of last season.
Yeah,
And
he was one of our best players last season. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's just like imagine if he'd have played like that for a lot of this season. Like again, obviously hindsight's a beautiful thing, but yeah, to be fair, like I said, Herrera had a good game, but I think Sanchez steals it, to be honest. But he took his goal really well, and I thought Lingard as well with the fake, because I thought he touched it to him, but I would have probably, you know what I'm saying?
He did well not to get in the way.
Yeah, trust me. So you got that still. That was again. You're not going to go down as an assist. I think Lukaku, funny enough, with his poor touch, I'm sure he's claiming that assist. That's what I'm saying. But Lingard as well did have a role to play in that goal. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
100% had a role to play in that goal. Jesse Lingard. Not only did Jesse Lingard have a part to play in the winning goal, Jesse Lingard FaceTiming the fans was great to see as well. Few people asking questions of how that went down on Twitter and stuff like that. Now, basically, as you would have saw in the fan cams, we were interviewing Lou. It was Jesse Lingard's brother. He come flying out the ground, absolutely buzzing, as you would be. Not just because he's Jesse Lingard's brother. His whole family are Manchester United fans. Jesse Lingard, his mom, his dad, everyone, they all go to the games quite regularly. And Lou come flying out with his mate Sonny, who's also Jesse Lingard's mate. And while we were fan camming Lou, Sonny belled Jesse Lingard, and he obviously it just erupted as soon as everyone saw him on the FaceTime. He went absolutely mad. Ashley Young came on as well. Everyone was singing the Ashley Young song. It was a great touch by Jesse Lingard, and it's not the first time that he's shown a connection to the fans. Whether it's making times to sign autographs for people, he's usually one of the last ones out there with Juan Mata and Ander Herrera signing autographs, rain, sleet and snow. Whether it's, I don't know, buying a drink for everybody at the end of the season, doing a fan cam, whatever. He's always connecting with the fans, and I think it just shows that he's one of us. We know that Spurs fans sing it about Harry Kane, funnily enough, and he's an Arsenal fan. Jesse Lingard genuinely is one of us, and it was an absolutely great ending to a fantastic day. Manchester United turned up, and it made you think, what the hell was going on in that West Bromwich Albion game?
Yeah. Again, it's funny. Again, we was talking about it on a previous show in terms of which United team turns up, and again, it's like when it matters, we have turned up, sort of thing. But it's frustrating to see us when we are inconsistent, and if we were to be more consistent, that where we could have been, and it's but it's obviously it's good that we obviously come back from a goal down as well. It shows good character in the team. It's
not the first time we've done it against Crystal Palace, Chelsea. Yeah. We've done it against a few teams this season, coming back from a goal down, and it's great to see we have got that spirit to do it. It begs a question: why do we have to go behind to automatically play well? But I thought it was an all-round performance. It's not like tactically we got it wrong, and then because it was a lapse. Ashley Young was way out of position, left a huge gaping hole at the back. Paul Pogba was trying to track back, couldn't get there in time. Christian Eriksen finds a great ball. Dele Alli tucks it in, and you're thinking, Jesus, what a bad start this is. Absolutely awful start. Reminiscent of the start in the league against them. But thankfully, we responded and we didn't crumble. Even Smalling and Jones were very, very good. Harry Kane, where was he in that game?
That's it. Again, I'm kind of a fan of Kane. In terms of, I think he's a top class striker. But again, in the big games, and this is where you'll be as a top player, you're gonna be as much as it's good scoring against your Bournemouths, etc. He scores. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't score against top teams, but you need to be doing it consistently in the top games. Like, for you to be even, people have been trying to mention him in the same breath as Ronaldo and Messi. Like, it's like you have to turn up, and again, it's like as bad as people said Smalling's been all season. He's put in a decent performance and kept arguably the best striker in the league quiet, innit? Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
did you see that moment between Phil Jones and Chris Smalling towards the end of the game, where Chris Smalling and Harry Kane tangled, and once they tangled, he then got up, and it looked like Chris Smalling was about to go up to Harry Kane, and Phil Jones gets in the way, pushes him, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, I love that moment between them. Petulia says Alexis Sanchez will score on Sunday, but will he celebrate? I keep forgetting that we've got Arsenal on Sunday. I think it's because they're so irrelevant right now. Love Wan, but don't mind him being moved on if we bring in someone of the same ilk. Nicky Collis wants to see Alexis Sanchez celebrate if he scores against Arsenal. Nicholas saying thoughts on Mata's role next season, boys. I think he'll be pushed out, says Nicholas. Now we hear these reports about Jose, who he doesn't trust and who he does trust. And Juan Mata is apparently one of those players that he does trust. Do you think he will still be here next season?
It wouldn't surprise me if he's still there, to be honest. As much as I don't think he's a player that Jose particularly likes. And obviously, he showed it at Chelsea. But I think that the thing that works for Mata is that he does produce, whether it be assists or important goals. He produces, and it's like not as bad as he is, but sometimes as awkward he is in terms of he doesn't win nothing in the air. He's not defensively that great. He's not that quick. Like from Jose, who's like a kind of a manager who's like always thinking on the back foot, if you like, in terms of he wants to be strong for a start. It's like I just don't ever really see him being his player, but I just don't think for the money we've paid for him and probably the wages are on, I don't really. Although I think there'd be teams who'd want him, I just don't think they're the Barca's or the Reals of this world. Yeah. And it's like, can you force him to leave? Because he doesn't have to.
He's been linked with Valencia again, his former club. Atletico Madrid have been linked with him as well. Potential replacement for Griezmann in that number 10 kind of role. Big shoes to fill, obviously. And I'm sure they would sign another striker and all that. If Mata wouldn't be the only one, but it would be part of that. Barcelona have been linked with Ander Herrera. We need to get his contract sorted, don't we?
Yeah, well, again, that's a funny one. Before these last few games, like Herrera looked like he's probably on his way out, to be honest.
No, but should he have?
Nah, I don't think. But again, he has been, based on his actual performance, he has been poor for a lot of the season. As the standard he set for himself last season,
he has been poor this season, but he hasn't played a lot this season as well to be able to play himself out of form.
Yeah, but I think he's had opportunities, and I just don't think he's took them for me. So that it doesn't surprise me why he hasn't started. Like even McTominay was getting him ahead of him at some point. Who, technically couldn't lace his boots, them ones. But obviously he's got other parts of his game that Herrera wasn't offering us. But now I think obviously you do want to keep him, because if he can produce what he's been producing, then obviously he's gonna help the team. But I don't think Barca are after him, to be honest. I think maybe last season they would have been.
His former manager's there. That's where the links come from. His manager at Atletico Bilbao, and I think what he showed, his performance against Tottenham, to me showed that we have to give him a contract. Because if we're losing Carrick, we're losing Fellaini, which I don't mind losing Fellaini, but if we're losing numbers in midfield, we can't be losing Herrera as well. Talk about Daley Blind potentially going. He played in midfield as a sub against Bournemouth, which was good to see, but we don't see it enough. So yeah, there's a few players that could be moving on, and I don't think Herrera should be one. I think there's a few players that have been rumoured to be potentially moving on, and I think some of them are absolutely ridiculous, but you come to expect it with Manchester United in terms of the links. Yeah,
I just don't think. Sorry to quit you now. I just don't think, as much as the papers will say like a lot of we're gonna have an excess of players. I think in reality, I think 3, maybe 4 will move on, and we'll probably get in the same. And so like I say, it's like as much as I don't think Matters maybe his player, I think he keeps him because I think he does add value. I don't think there'll be a mass exodus. I think that unfortunately Shaw's probably looks like he's gonna go. I don't want that, and maybe a couple others, but I think they'll just be replaced. I don't think there'll be this max exodus. Like I say, we've got Fellaini's already gone, Carrick's already gone. There's 2. You know what I mean? Like I think with Fellaini, I think the thing that I'm more disappointed with that is it's just, but it don't affect me because obviously I don't make any money from the club. But it's like as a business deal, like it's just poor. Like you should have been selling Fellaini last season, to be honest. Like he's a decent player, like, but he's not that great. So you could have just sold him. But to be honest, I don't want him to stay. To be honest, I don't like him. I don't like the way he plays. I think he can add stuff like the wins headers, etc. in the final third and that. But he's not a Manchester United player. As well. Yeah. I think we just need to. That's the reason why we're not like challenging in Europe, for example. I just don't think Fellaini's. He started in, you know what I'm saying, against, and it's like if you're saying he's your best player and you're in the Europe elite. Come on, man! We need to improve. That's what we need to be recruiting better than that in the summer, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Someone said talk about Anthony Martial. Harry King, in fact, said talk about Anthony Martial. Now, I don't want to go into this one too much. We speak about it an awful lot. Now, look, there's rumours, obviously. Duncan Castle recently said that Anthony Martial is obviously in contract discussions with Manchester United at the moment. And Jose Mourinho wouldn't stand in his way if he wanted to leave. That doesn't say he is leaving. He didn't say anything. Now, Duncan Castles is usually a good source of information for Jose Mourinho stuff. And that to me sounds like typical contract negotiations. You're not going to say, I really want to hold on to you. And the player's not going to come out and say, I'm staying forever because of that. If Manchester United let Anthony Martial go, they are fucking idiots. Mourinho's an idiot. They're all idiots if they let Anthony Martial go. But I hope and I think that won't happen.
I hope it don't happen.
It could happen.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't. But again, I just wouldn't be surprised if it did. As sad as that sounds, like
Nor would I with Jose's pass.
Not even so much with his pass. I just don't. If, for example, you look at this for the conundrum really, because you tell me the answer. Like if Martial obviously wants to play football, and obviously he's good enough to start for someone, isn't it? Like
good enough to start for Man United.
You'd argue that, innit? So you'd argue he's good enough to start. But if you're not starting, he's not gonna want to sit on the bench. And if you're saying to the manager, like, I want to play X amount of games, and he's come out and said, I cannot confirm you're gonna get, you know what I'm saying? So like, really, you are gonna look to leave, innit? Like, it's unless Jose does kind of tell him, like, you know what I'm saying?
But that may be a challenge to him.
Yeah, that's I think.
Which Jose loves doing these kind of stupid things, isn't it? But sometimes you need to just.
But it's
say, bro, just stay there.
It's worked with Martial though. Like, from last season, he has improved. You can see it in his goal return. Even the fact that obviously everyone loved Martial, so no one wants him to leave last season. But he's done more for us this season. You know what I'm saying? So, like the way Mourinho has been managing him has improved him in my opinion, because we're even talking, like I say, of starting consistently. Like when we've got man like Alexis in the team, and people who think that he should start over Alexis. You know them ones like, and then you've got Rashford. Like we have got a lot of players in the forward line. You got Lukaku, who never misses a game. So there's only 2 places up for grabs, and there's quite a few decent players. So it's a tough one. And again, like, I just don't think he can come out and confirm it. But I think I hope it's just gonna be like tough love, and he'll sign a contract, and obviously he just, you know what I'm saying, he works well in his team and just gets rotated like everyone else.
I think it'd be wise for Martial to stay at Man United anyway, because you're not. Like, obviously, I think he's good enough to sign from any club in the world. Genuinely do. But if you look at teams around the world, if he is available, Juventus would want him, definitely. Dybala and all these players are going to be linked with moves away. Atletico Madrid would 100% want him. Real Madrid, possibly, if Gareth Bale's leaving. All that stuff. Barcelona, you never know what's going on there. There's room. Ousmane Dembele is going to go out on loan. Luis Suarez has been links with him, potentially. They're cashing in on him. There have genuinely been links with him. Like Barcelona would possibly potentially be in for him. There's teams out there that would be in for him. Premier League teams would be in for him. So if these are teams that would be in for him, I'm saying you're not going to get it better than Man United. Anyway, like, it's worth sticking around for another year or two.
I think he's in the best place. I think again, like, the comments that De Boer came out with when he was talking about I can't remember which player he was talking about, and he's saying Rashford, when he said that, like, he'd be better off at a different team, and obviously, like, Mourinho just comes back with, obviously, he'd be the worst to be under you because you lost it, so you teach him to lose. And it's like, at least with Martial, if you are going to be here, like, if, like, for example, we win the FA Cup, Jose can go away and say the last 2 seasons I've won 3 trophies for you, and obviously 4 if you want to count the Community Shield as well, innit? And it's like, if you are being successful, like, it's like, who else are you going to? I don't think Barca or Real are after you. And then anyone else, you mentioned Juventus, but Juventus are really a stepping stone to one of those big clubs, because, like, as much as, like, Dybala's sick, he's looking to go elsewhere. Like, so I just don't know, where do you go really? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, City ain't gonna want you. You get me? Like, or maybe a City, you're not gonna go to City. Like, who are you going to? You know what I'm saying? A Bayern Munich gonna be after you. I don't know. Like, that's it. Barca just got Dembele and that Coutinho. I don't know, but I think he just, like I said, I'm hoping it's just tough love, and I hope that he signs his contract, and again, I think he will perform in it. Like he's getting.
Anthony, sign it.
He's got to have a good World Cup in it as well. Even that this year, it's like if he has a good World Cup, like you could just force yourself in a team if you're just having a sick World Cup or something like that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the opportunities are there. Same with Rashford. If he tear it up for England, you got Awagi. Imagine I don't know. Say if he starts centre forward for England, I don't think he will, but if he scores goals, you have to start for United then, or that's a problem you're gonna cause your manager in it. So. See how it goes, man.
Very, very true. Right, on to player of the year anyway. Now, people are moaning about volume, and I don't get it because we're holding the mic. The volume levels are going up on the computer. Looks to me like normal. So I genuinely do not get it. But let me try something. Right now. Is that better? Is that better, guys? Dean, speak for them.
Yo.
Is that better? Let me know in the comments if the sound is better now. But yeah, we're talking. See, Nicholas is saying the volume's fine. So there's people saying it's fine and people saying it's not fine. Does my bloody head in. Kamal says Marshall will barely start for France.
This is what I'm
but
saying.
That's because he don't start for United, to be fair.
But is it like... this is what I'm saying. People think... Obviously, I want Marshall to start, but to me, like I say, we said, I think... Sanchez is better from the left. I will pick Sanchez. Like Mourinho seems to do the same thing as well. And it's like you're gonna learn a lot in it. Same as how Rashford learned from Zlatan. You can learn from Alexis, and like who better for you to learn from day in day out is from Alexis, who's a winner. You know what I mean? Like this. Obviously, I ain't a footballer, but I know, you know what I'm saying? So I can imagine he wants to play, but like I say, you're in a great place, and to me, we're the biggest club in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Much as man would have said Real or Barca, I think we're the biggest club in the world. So you just need to just sign up the thing, man. Yo, trust me.
Sign it up. Guys, moving on now from Manchester United. Someone just commented earlier, why is Salah on your thumbnail? Now, it really makes me mad when people comment on my videos and say, why are you talking about this? Or why are you talking about that? Or why are you talking about this? Like, I don't have to just talk about Manchester United all day, every day. It's partly why I made Straight Up, because I like to talk about other things as well. Talking about Straight Up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. The link's in the description below. But, like, I prefer to be able to talk about everything. When you're with your mates, do you only talk about Man United? No. So if you don't like me talking about other things, then feel free to just give this video a miss. But we're going to be talking about other things, and we're going to be talking about Mo Salah, and we're going to be talking about Kevin de Bruyne and potential other young player of the years as well. Leroy Sane won that. Do you think Sterling was robbed?
I think if I don't think Sterling should kind of be considered as young player of the year, because I think he's been around for a while now. Obviously, I know he's young, but I think if he's nominated, then I think he has to win that. To be honest, like I'm not a massive fan of Sterling, but you can't lie with his statistics this season. Like he scored goal. I think he's like 21 goals. I think he scored on Saturday, innit? So I think he's got 22, 23 goals in all competitions. That's not really like. That's some good numbers you're putting up there, and it's like for someone who like he's not like, you know what I'm saying, people don't really rate him, and he hasn't had the best of scoring seasons in the past, like in terms of those numbers. So yeah, I think Sterling was kind of robbed, to be honest.
I find it absolutely fucking bonkers that Harry Kane was nominated for Young Player of the Year. He's won it like 4 times. He's 25 in like a month. Like, what is going on here? How is this guy nominated for Young Player of the Year? How does that make sense? Robert Perez, obviously the real Robert Perez, in the comments says Trent Arnold-Alexander should have got Young Player of the Year. No?
Nah. Come on, man. Like, yo.
Yeah, even he hasn't had a better season than Sane, right?
Nah. At the top, like, where, like, again, like, as much as he's played well. Like, you've not contributed to the level that them man have contributed to their team, in my opinion. Like, again, I haven't watched all Liverpool's games, so you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna say that's like, I don't know, that he may have had a good season, but it's like from what I've seen, man, Sane's had a better season. I think enough players have had a better. I think you couldn't. There's United players who've had young players who had better seasons than him. Like Rashford, you know, them ones had better season for me than Trent Arnold. You get me?
Yeah, And no one's criticising Trent Arnold-Alexander. There's been a few comments getting defensive about it. Like, learn to listen to what we're saying. We're saying he's not Young Player of the Year. Wesley says it had to go to Sane, so he agrees with the award. Sane has a very good season. He was rightly nominated for it. Harry King says Ashley Young should have got Young Player of the Year. If you're going to nominate Harry Kane, you probably could have nominated Ashley Young. What's your opinion on Lukaku leaving Mino Raiola and joining Rock Nation? We'll talk about that later. I don't think it really... Yeah. Mo Salah then, so you agree with him getting getting the Young Player of the Year? Getting Player of the Year.
Yeah. I said it on the last weekend wrap that I think it would be a travesty if he didn't win it, and I think the numbers he's put up and the performances he's put in. Sometimes you sin against City, like he doesn't have to do much in the game, but that one piece of brilliance, he do it in the big games. And I think, to me, like I say, I think if you're basing it on just purely on your individual performance, an individual reward, you have to give it to the best player. And as much as Kevin de Bruyne's had a great season and he's in a team that's winning the league and has won the Carling Cup or whatever, like individually, I think Salah's had a better season.
Bad Brad says you can't score 40 goals and not get it.
It'd be outrageous, I think. As I've seen Roberto Martinez come out. Obviously, he's Belgian manager, and obviously he's come out in defence of De Bruyne, saying he should have won it. And it's just like, if that's a travesty if you can't give it to Salah for that many goals. Like, how many do you need to score? Like, he's been involved with something like 50 plus goals.
Yeah, I'm not. Ridiculous. When I said De Bruyne, I thought De Bruyne would get it. I simply thought it was because he won Premier League. And I think the votes were made at quite an early stage where it was kind of hard to separate them. I think Mo Salah has been, especially with the latter stage of the Champions League, he's been absolutely phenomenal. Maybe if it was Premier League Player of the Year, maybe Kevin De Bruyne will get that. But then again, Salah's a top goal scorer as well in the Premier League, so he's got more goals than Harry Kane.
To me, I think, like I say, it'd be a travesty if he didn't win it. I think, to be honest, when you mentioned that, for example, you thought De Bruyne would win it, I thought that was because the way that the voting works, it can be kind of a popularity contest in terms of, if you're like a Dele Alli, for example, you're going to struggle to win. He's going to struggle, I think, in any season to win that award because people dislike him, innit? And it's like, as good as you are, people will still dislike you, or like if they dislike you, you ain't gonna vote for you. Yeah. It's kind of a popularity contest. So in that sense, I thought that maybe De Bruyne would win it because I think that again, because City have been successful, I think that people would have voted for him. But again, I think Mo Salah's thoroughly deserving of that award, to be honest.
Aman says, why are you not watching the masterpiece, which is Everton versus Newcastle? It's on in the background, and it's still 0-0 after 13 minutes. Salah is playing for the wrong team, says Nicky Collis. Now, to be honest, we could have Salah and he wouldn't be delivering these numbers. He wouldn't be playing the way he's playing. You disagree with that, but I think Salah's not scoring this amount of goals in our team.
I think good players work anywhere, to be honest.
Nah, man.
I think so.
Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, all these guys that play out wide for us. Even like, I feel if they play in a more attacking team, they score more goals. Now, I'm not necessarily saying these teams are better than us, but I'm saying the way they play is a more attacking based game where the strikers get more chances, and we don't create enough chances for Lukaku. Yeah. Never mind our wide players to be saying these men are scoring that many goals. No way.
Yeah, I just think that, for example, in the positions they are, like you look at again, I've said this before. I think if you just put Sane and Sterling and then Martial and Rashford, I would take Rashford and Martial over them. I think they're both better than them. But as actual wingers, like if then you know what I'm saying, their goal return isn't good enough to guarantee starts for me. And I think again it showed in certain games, so they're not scoring, they're not putting up these numbers, so it's like they can be dropped.
But the way we're playing isn't like
we're playing 3 forward players. You know what I mean? It's not like we're playing.
It's not like they play a way that's like getting these like in the area loads, getting these like bare chances. The way they play, like they switch defense to attack so quickly. We don't.
But some of our
half the time our play is very slow.
Yeah, I agree with that. But some of our problem as well is the fact that we have no width. And that comes from a lot of the time when our wingers, if you like, are coming too narrow, and it's like they're a culprit of that as well. Like they do that as well. You know what I'm saying? They're not offering us great width down the wing, whipping in balls for Lukaku and that really. Because like I say, Lukaku's our best crosser of the ball. You know what I mean? How's that work?
He put another one on Jesse's head
this
weekend as well, which was a good cross.
It's like if you just even that, it's like they're not offering great service. You know what I mean? So it's not. That's the reason for me why they're not starting as much. And I think again, like I say, Sanchez, who is the alternative, comes with trumps on when it matters. You know what I mean? Like that's what big players do, isn't it?
You mentioned maintaining width. He doesn't maintain width.
No, they don't. But he's offering a goal for it. You know what I mean?
He was Sanchez in the form that he played in against Spurs. He starts. I'd argue there's a way you can fit both him and one of Martial and Rashford into the same team. I would argue that, but Alexis in the form that he played in against Tottenham starts. What I was saying before was you need to hold him to the same standards of if you're not playing well, you come off as a sub or you get, you don't start the next game because then that's fair. Like, but at the same time, when he's playing like he is, he has to start. Like there's no ifs, buts or maybes.
Yeah, no, I agree in it, but like with your point about treating them the same, I just think that as a more experienced player and a player who's done it, I just think you've earned more slack than these have, innit? So, and like I say, he's just come to a new club. That's the only reason I think it kind of gives him a pass because it's like you're not gonna just ostracize him and you just brought him in, paid big money,
of course, yeah.
And then like you have a couple of bad games. It's like, bro, you're out the team. Martial starting now. You know them ones like you're not gonna. As some play, again, it's like.
But then that's the way you manage players.
Yeah, but it's like people get onto Mourinho for kind of doing that, and it's like he's kind of doing that with Sanchez, like where he's like that's to me, he's like kind of putting an arm around a man, saying, "Yo, you're playing poorly, but you've been playing poorly sometimes, but I'm still sticking with you, mate." You know, them ones like you have got man who's chomping at the bit over there, Martial and Rashford, but I'm gonna stick with you because I've just paid. You know what? We give you Mkhitaryan, but I'm paying some big wedge to come and play. So I think he's kind of doing that with Alexis, and it came up trumps again because, like I say, he just scored. He got us back on level terms with Spurs, and also we went on to win the game, and he played an integral part of that. So, what you know, what I'm saying, as much as like I say, I'm a fan of these players. Like, if we are all for Manchester United, like you know, what I'm saying, like this infatuation with like Martial and Rashford starting or whatever. You know, what I'm saying, we need to just be thinking what's best for the club. And at the moment, for me, I don't know if people think differently, but. Like what is best for us really is, and what we're doing at the moment. Although we aren't winning the league, we're potentially on the cusp of winning a cup. And again, let it look. Is it that bad? Is it such bad times really? Like with what Jose is doing? Like you tell me, innit? Like in the comments, you know what I'm saying?
Get the comments
you
in.
Tell me.
We've got a few questions now. We've moved off the PFA Player of the Year stuff. Get your thoughts in on what Dino has just said. Guys, as well, make sure you're subscribing to Adam McKola TV. Subscribe to Straight Up. The link's in the description below. Follow Dean on Twitter. Follow myself on Twitter if you haven't already. We've got a few questions in the comments already. Robert Perez says, who do you want to win the Champions League? Real Madrid against Bayern are in one semi-final. Who's winning in that one?
I don't care.
No, who's winning? Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. Who's winning?
Real, of course, winning it.
Roma, Liverpool.
I think Liverpool win that.
So Real Madrid, Liverpool final. Who's winning?
Real.
I think Real Madrid are going to win the Champions League, and I think it's going to be a Real Madrid Roma final. Do you know why I think that?
That'd be a dead final though.
Yeah, because Real Madrid would dick them like 3-4-0. But I think that because Man City kind of played into Liverpool's hands, like attacking them. Roma won't attack them. So if they can keep a clean sheet at Anfield, which is a possibility.
You have to play like United to get that.
They have to play like they did in their second leg against Barcelona. If they can, any team that beats Barcelona for me has a chance against Liverpool.
Barcelona ain't the same team, no. I know this is a whole.
But they're still better than Liverpool.
Yeah, well, on paper, but it's like if you like as much as they're running away with their league, there is like kind of some. In terms of the forward line and that, again, they're talking about Suarez leaving. Like what, you know what I'm saying? They're not doing that because they're being like as much as they're being successful. There is problems.
But I just think because Barcelona are like one of those teams that just shake it up a little bit, innit?
Yeah.
They need that. And Messi's probably looking around like, yo, we need to make some signings. So he's asking for signings. Someone says, is Alexis the best finisher at our club now? Pratulia says that. No, Lukaku is.
You think
Lukaku is the best finisher at our club? Trust me.
Look
at the chances he gets. His goal conversion. I bet his goal conversion is better than Sanchez in the time they've both been in the game.
But if last minute of the FA Cup final, who do you want the ball to drop to? Lukaku or Sanchez?
Where?
In front, 1-on-1, 20 yards out, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Who do you want in front?
I think they're both as likely to miss that chance. I've seen Sanchez miss some sitters.
Nah, but yeah,
I'm not saying that. I think they're both as likely to score than they are to miss. But I don't think, Sanchez is he's going to score 10 out of 10 times. I think Lukaku scores more times out of 10 than Sanchez in front of goal.
I think if Lukaku did that, I think he would score more goals. To be honest, I think there's time. There's been chances he's missed. Obviously, all strikers miss chances in it. I'm not suggesting that people don't miss on that, but he misses some chances, and he's missed some chances this season. And it's like, I just think that, like I say, if last minute, give me last minute of the FA Cup, and we need a goal, and you can choose Sanchez or Lukaku to be in front of goal. I'm picking Sanchez all day.
100%. Right, I'm turning this volume up, so hopefully it's doing something to the volume and it's getting louder. I'm hoping that's happening right now anyway. If it's not, then I don't know what I can do for you guys. Everyone's driving me mad, moaning about the sound and stuff like that. Oh, God. Right. Any more questions?
They're just trolling, man. What's the crack? What is the crack in it?
Fuck knows what these lot are chatting about. Some people say it's fine, some people don't. Someone said Egypt are going to win the World Cup. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup?
I think you can't look past Germany, to be honest. Like,
we're going to turn the weekend rap into the World Cup rap during the World Cup.
We should be entertaining it. So this season looks well.
We could do some watch-alongs and shit, maybe. We definitely need to get out and do a video for Straight Up where we ask people about who they're going to think is going to win the World Cup and that. Yeah, or what are England's chances? Because we're going to get some people like, we're going to win the World Cup. There's going to be some funny shit.
Yeah, trust me, that would be interesting to see what people do say. Like, I've been speaking to people, like, and some people obviously saying Belgium also got a tidy team, but I just don't think they would, Joe. Obviously Brazil's team's tough. Argentina are there. No Italy and that. It's a mad thing. Mm-hmm. Like, but even that, like, obviously I'm just intrigued. We can do the World Cup rap in it. Like, I'm down, man. Like, I'm gonna look to watch some of the games. I think it'll be entertaining. Like,
yeah. I think I'm doing some stuff with someone as well. So maybe that will be out as well. I'll get some content from that. When was the last time Lukaku received a decent cross as Angelo Claassen? I think it was one that Martial stuck on his head.
Yeah. But again, it's like, like Pogba's cross to Sanchez. Yeah,
that was a great cross.
Where's Lukaku? You get me? Like, he's in the position where you should be. Like, sometimes I think. Again, I don't think
Lukaku was front post, wasn't he?
No, I don't think.
I think Lukaku brought the. What you got to realise with Lukaku again in that game, and he done it in the game for United against Spurs when he took Alderweireld out, flicked the ball on, and Martial scored. He done it for the second goal. He bullied Sanchez, Sanchez, and then our Sanchez got the ball. Angelo Claassen thinks Brazil are going to win the World Cup. What signings make us Champions League contenders? If you could pick 3 signings in the summer, who are you picking?
Hypothetically, you just say Ronaldo, Messi. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, realistically, I don't know, man. Me personally, I would like, if we could get him, I would want Conte from Chelsea. I think if he's in the midfield through Matic and Pogba, I think that would get the best out of Pogba, to be honest.
We're not getting Conte though, are we?
Maybe not. Alright. So okay, that's not realistic. Alright then. I don't know. Like, I think we need a centre back. So obviously Varane's been talked about. I don't think he gets as much games at Madrid, from what I know. But someone may correct me in the comments. I don't watch all Madrid's games, but I think we could do with a centre back. I think we could do with a right back. I think Fabinho. I think from Monaco. I think he can play. You know what I'm saying? He can
and DM as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he could do a job.
And we were linked with him last summer.
Yeah. So I think that could be a. But again, it's a risk, in it. Some of these players coming from different countries don't work. But I think we could do, say, him. I don't know, man. I don't even want to say no more attacking players, because again, like, as much as people say want to know who we want to sign, if you sign any more people up top here, where is Martial and where is Rashford going? And it's like, so I'm not even thinking we need to sign at the top end. We need to kind of shore up, I think, the defense and offer more of a.
Unless like a Matter or someone leaves, we don't really need to sign anyone up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Unless someone leaves, we don't need. We need to sort out the midfield, sort out the defense. Let's move forward. We definitely need fullback. If Shaw's going, we need a fullback.
But the only
but Fosu Mensah, I want him to come back. He's a right back though. He could give Valencia some competition because Darmian hasn't given the competition we've needed, and nobody else has really given the competition we've needed either. So I would like to think he could. Yeah. Any more final thoughts, Dean, before we shoot? Anything you want to chat about on the weekend, right?
Nah, not really. Obviously, like, nah, not really. I was gonna mention obviously the Chelsea, and obviously everyone's getting onto content up again. He's gonna set up a nice final, and obviously that's kind of what obviously we went to Spurs.
Those two managers were having the mind games as well. Previously.
Yeah, I think obviously Conte has already came out now and said that we're gonna be the underdogs or whatever in the final. So he's kind of trying to put pressure on Jose, but I'm sure Jose will start coming back with his.
Saying they're the champions and whatnot. Last season.
They aren't. Well, obviously the City have been confirmed champions now, but you know what I'm saying. Like, and it's again obviously Jose will want to win against them. So I think it's set up for a nice end to the season.
And it will most likely be Conte's last game in England because it looks like he's leaving at the end of the season. Yeah, that's the final game. So it's a chance for him to go out with a trophy. He would have had 2 seasons in England then if he wins the FA Cup, which obviously I hope he doesn't. And he would have won the Premier League and the FA Cup in those 2 seasons. And to think they could be getting rid of him is quite bizarre. But obviously they finished outside the top 4 as well. That's not good enough. But nevertheless, United against Chelsea, Jose against Conte, big final ahead. Another big day at Wembley ahead as well. And Jesse Lingard tweeted today. He tweeted the picture of the FaceTime and he said, "See you again hopefully on May 19th." So what's going to happen if we win is we're going to definitely need to sort out another FaceTime fan cam with Jesse Lingard. But yeah, make sure you're subscribing to Straight Up. We're recording the very, very first podcast tomorrow morning, and that will be up Monday afternoon, Monday evening. If there's any non-football related topics or questions that you have for that, then get them in the comments below on this video. Apart from that, like, share, subscribe. We're very close to 50,000 here. We've just gone over 100 subscribers on Straight Up already. So thank you to those that have already subscribed. And if you haven't, make sure you are subscribing. And for now, we're out of here. Dean?
Yeah, man, later. And like I say, subscribe to the channels. Like, just keep supporting it. I'll see anything you want us to discuss on it. We're just like you in it, so we'll keep it coming for you.
We got an opinion on everything.
Mostly that people, from me, people don't like them, but you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, it's good to hear people's opinions on things that I have opinions on in it. So yeah, man.
It's the only way you learn, isn't it?
Trust me. Or like seeing something different in it. So big up anyone who's commenting on it. You know what I'm saying? I'll see y'all.
Oh shit. Cheers, guys.